I'm Erik Anonby, professor in French here at Carleton. I've been here 10 years, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about the department, where I fit in, and then we'll have a chance to ask Marta some questions. And that's probably the part you're most looking forward to. What's it really like to be a student in French at Carleton? So our program, it's kind of special in Ontario. We have as with many French programs, it starts out with students getting to a level of French where they're quite comfortable using the language. And then if students choose to continue to go on, we have literature courses, French literature, which is not just books, but it's about all kinds of creative thought and extends to cinema and things like that, and also French linguistics. And I'm on the linguistics side of things. In addition, there's courses in translation or teaching French. So if you're thinking of becoming a French teacher and teaching in schools, maybe teaching in immersion programs, lots of jobs out there, then that's something that you might think about. And our department does offer exchanges, whether it's in France or Belgium, and we have a co-op program available to people. So what am I doing here today, and why am I in the French department? So I've always loved French, and that's where I started off. I didn't actually know what linguistics was. I do French linguistics, but I didn't know what linguistics was till the end of my first year in university. But now I get to do both, so I have it pretty lucky. For my research and teaching, some of the stuff in the department, I study French in Africa, and I teach a course on that. So we look at the history of French in Africa. When did it come to Africa? What are characteristics of the language? And how does it vary from one place to another? And then we actually include some of the literature, books written in the French African context, African cinema, French African cinema, things like that. And my other favorite featured course is related to language mapping. And we look at maps and atlases of French. So that's enough about the department and about me. And I'm really happy to introduce to you now Marta Melnik. And so bonjour, Marta. Thanks for joining us. And nice to see your picture up there now. So I've just got a few questions for you to see what it's like for you to study French at Carleton. And so the first thing I want to ask you is, what made you choose Carleton? So what's special about Carleton, and actually for yourself, what made you interested in French?
Well, part of it is I'm from Edmonton, so that's out west, and there is a French community there, but it's not the way it is here in Ottawa. It's not where you have the bilingual everything and the streets and the buses and all that. So part of my rationale was that if I came here, I'd be able to more easily work on my French outside of classroom settings, since I'd be able to go out in the town or find my way to Gatineau and all that. And then, not gonna lie, the tunnels were also a draw.
Okay, yeah, I heard about the tunnels at Carleton back when I was still in high school, and I thought that sounded pretty impressive. Never having to go outside into the crazy winter.
And not just impressive, super useful too.
Yeah, totally. Okay, and I know over the course of your degree, you know, there's good moments, there's tough moments, but what's the proudest you've been during your degree? What was one moment where you're just really proud of who you are, what you're doing? Yeah, tell us.
Well, I'd say it was this event with the French department, because last year I was working with the French department, so the event was this luncheon, let's say, with various members of the department and the TAs, and I was there too. And I remember that I started talking with this one professor who I hadn't seen for months, because I'd only had her first year and it was well into second year by that point. And something that she said completely unprompted, she commented that my French had improved so much since the last time we'd spoken. And that was something that made me feel really proud, because I don't necessarily know myself when I've improved sometimes because I don't necessarily know what to look for all the time. So getting that kind of comment completely unprompted made me feel like, yeah, we're going somewhere with this. It's not just like coming from me, it's other people are noticing it too. And it's someone who doesn't have to say it. It's she said it because she meant it.
Yeah, the chance to get to see the way that you're progressing in the language through the eyes of other people in the department. And I see this, sometimes I'll teach a student in second year and then I'll get them again in fourth year. They'll be in my class, and I'm always amazed at the development that's taken place over the 4 years. So I'm glad that you're already seeing that in your degree.
Yeah, it's good hearing about it too.
So I have another question, and you can answer this one. You don't even have to pretend anything because I haven't had the chance to teach you. So it doesn't have to be my course. It can't be. Why don't you tell me what your favorite course has been and why?
Okay. I'm going to have to say 2110 with Frenant Léger because, oh boy, don't get me wrong. There were parts where it was ridiculously hard. There were parts when I was questioning what on earth I was doing there in the first place. But by the end of the year, my French had skyrocketed, and even I was able to tell that. And just seeing the progression and being able to go, when I first came here, I was barely saying anything in French. And then by the end of the year, because it was a full year course, I can write essays in French, like not perfectly, but I can write them. That in and of itself was like, it made me feel good. And just, he's a good professor too, right? Like you have to put in the work in his course, but you put in the work, you will get results. And like, again, there were hard moments for sure, but by the end of it, it's like, yeah, okay, this is actually good for me.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And that course, that's some advanced written French, right? Is that what the focus is in that course?
Yeah, it's focusing on written French and just really polishing writing and grammar. And we actually did a short story in that class too for one of the assignments, so that was fun.
Okay, I know in some of the earlier levels, like intermediate French, you do things like how do you write a letter of application for a job? You know, how do you write a CV? So lots of practical stuff. But wow, to see that you're getting to the point of writing short stories in that course, that sounds good. So you've actually mentioned a few of the skills that you've developed during this degree. Are there some other skills that you'd want to mention that you've developed during this degree?
Let's say self-confidence is one of them, because the more I'm here and the more I'm doing things, the more I'm seeing that I can do things. And like, I've gotten lucky. The professors that I've had have been fantastic, and I'm getting feedback. I'm getting like encouragement and support, and even just from the university in general, just being able to figure things out has been good for my self-confidence. And obviously there's the speaking and the writing and the listening and the understanding part of learning a language and learning how to deal with university requirements and citations and all that kind of thing. And there's a lot that I have learned, and in a way I'm seeing more of what I haven't, in the sense that the more I've learned and the more I'm starting to figure things out, the more I realize there's so much more out there, and it's making me even more excited for what's to come.
Yeah, oh, great. And do you find, like, has most or all of your learning happened in classes, or are there things outside of classes that are really useful to the developing confidence and skills that you have?
Well, the French department does have the soutien oral and the soutien écrit, so being able to get someone to help proofread your assignments before you hand them in, or being able to go and just practice French in, like, with the TA or whoever's there, it's definitely helpful. And obviously with the fact that it's a really bilingual city, we have, like, there's a lot of opportunities to just go out and if there's someone I notice in a restaurant or whoever that's speaking French, I'll speak in French and give my order in French. So yeah, being in a bilingual city, there are a lot of opportunities outside of the classroom and even on campus too.
Yeah, I'm glad it's been meaningful for you, because I know that the faculty and the teaching assistants, sometimes we have assistants from France who are in the department. They just put so much into making a nice departmental life for people going through the program, because you can't learn everything in a classroom, and it's nice to have these real opportunities that you're talking about.
Definitely. It's different this year because of everything that's going on, but everyone's doing their best to still provide services and give opportunities for students to do what they do. So
yeah,
it might not seem like it sometimes, like professors might not hear it, but it is appreciated from the students.
Oh, thanks, Marta. Now, a final question for you here. Where do you hope your degree takes you? What are you hoping to do with it, and how are you preparing for the next steps? Maybe you're already thinking of what you'd like to do afterward.
Well, right now I'm still in stage of sort of exploring my options. Part of it is I am a double major, so I have a lot of opportunities available to me. I could go in one direction, I could go in the other, I could go in a direction with both. And I am also thinking about maybe going into masters, so that's another thing I'm starting to look into, researching to see, like, obviously requirements for application and that kind of thing, but also just which way I might want to go and starting to solidify things. I'm still just in third year, so I have a bit of time before that, especially since I am going to be taking 5 years to do my double major, but it's good to be able to get a head start now, and there are services on like university campus or through the university where I can talk to people about that. So it's good to be able to bounce ideas and see where I could go, since there are so many places that I could go, kind of thing.
Yeah. So the great thing about the having either a major in French, or maybe you do a combined major like you're doing, opportunities working with the government, that's an obvious one in Ottawa, and lots of jobs working as a teacher in the school system. Ontario is usually looking for teachers, for French teachers, usually short on French teachers, so that's a great opportunity. And then there's just the international character of the program. So whatever you end up doing, Marta, I wish you good luck, and I know it's going to take you great places. I want to thank you for joining us today for this event. So hope to see you sometime in real person.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that'll be great
good
to see you
being here.
again. Okay, have a good one.
You too. Thank you.